Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, innovating, and amazing Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, the one, the only master propaganda hero of Psych Defender of the Fatherland, off here to a 1v1 on Langraskaya in the north of the F3rig, fighting here for the Red Army, the Soviet Union. Comrade Stalin here with Shock Army, a shocking choice there with the T-35s, heavy mortars, shock troopers, armoured vehicle detection, and the artillery strike here. In the south, it is Use-m246 fighting for the Wehrmacht, Germany, Deutschland. Here with the 7th Panzer Division here with Spearhead, Mechanized, and Lightning Wall versus the 2nd Guards, Mechanized Corps. We got Gun MD42 versus double conscripts here from F3rig. And as always, a big hearty, resounding thanks to my Patreon supporters. Without them and their support, the Propagandacast would simply not be possible. So big thanks to all those other people enjoying the links by Patreon, or they can donate via PayPal, links in the description, and finally commenting, liking, sharing, subscribing is another way to assist. So, steady advance here from F3rig, and the Red Army advancing on the cut-off point on their east side. There we got engineers bring up there for F3rig. Pretty standard opening here. We got pioneers rushing for Western building to that way secure the entrance with sandbags so rather than barbed wire. You can also use sandbags rather than barbed wire to sort of block off an entrance. The difference here, of course, is the time sandbags take a bit longer than barbed wire, but on the other hand, they can't just move up with a pair of bolt cutters and start cutting into the sandbags. Second Grenadier Squad there for Use-m246. Sandbags there, barbed wire there, but yeah, typically you see the southern player look to block this entrance, otherwise they can occupy the building and make things very, very uncomfortable for you around here. So, little note there. More barbed wire here, so far steady work here. But yeah, Shock Army, it's like, Guard Motor at this stage. It just doesn't have the guards for an all-marked vehicle or self-repairs. It's just less popular. It still features T-35s and heavy mortars, which is still pretty good. It's just guards riflemen are just, in most cases, much better. So, second engineer squad here for F3rig, three conscript engineers. We've got coming up, MD42 pump to the building here. So far, not a major number of engagements here. So far, both players have been focusing more on just securing that part of the map. And of course, Use-m246 has been more focused just preventing, particular engagement from transpiring against them. Definitely a bit more of a cautious approach here from Use-m246. Third Grenadier Squad. Oh, cancels it. Fast tech? Mortar? Sniper? I mean, that's definitely interesting. And most players, of course, go for 3 Grenadiers and 1 MD42, but Use-m246 so far has cancelled the 3rd Grenadier Squad. So the big question is, what is Use-m246 scheming versus F3rig? And will he be ready for shock mode? Okay, does go for the 3rd Grenadier Squad. Maybe there was that brief moments like thinking, you know what, I could try and go for sniper here, but then, at the last moment he went, you know what, I think I want 3 Grenadiers after all. So, I mean, that's certainly few possibilities that way. Does delay his Grenadier Squad number 3 there a bit, which could be exploited here by F3rig. Of course, F3rig does not know this. And so far has been playing aggressive as using for side, so really open up for that. 3rd Grenadier Squad ready. Tech on my for Use-m246. F3rig there, I imagine, with no upgrades, so actually interesting. All the way, they're pushing up here around the center west. Grenadiers pursuing the Grenadier Squad's got the flamethrower up there, the Rocks 3. MD40 sitting up here against the engineers out in the open, pushing them back here. Contra nearby as well, could be caught here in the burst of MD42 fire. But there you go. F3rig here flanks the MD42. There's a Grenadier Squad coming out the flank. East side is seeing next action here so far between Use-m246 and F3rig. Engineers constantly pushing forward here for the Red Army. Going straight here for the flanks here of Use-m246 and the 7th Panzer Division. Grenadiers was the conscripts. And Grenadiers in West was there as well. Looking to sneak about here, but looks of it. Also note he's using conscript there to merge with engineers, giving them full strength. Thumbs up to F3rig, and there you go, making a run for the building, which he definitely has not. Blockaded the entrances too. Catching here, suddenly Use-m246 in a bit of a pickle here. Nice maneuvering here, which you typically don't see on this side of the map. As typically you don't see this heavy fighting here, but we are definitely getting it now. Uses forced retreat Grenadiers here as the encirclement continues here. The maneuvering, the ceaseless attacks here from F3rig are unleashed against Use-m246 and the 7th Panzer Division here. Grenadiers moving in, the Grenadiers in trouble. Machine they could also be forced to retreat here, and there we go. A full retreat here from the west side here, despite all that work still into defending it. F3rig was just that much faster and smoother here than Use-m246, leaving him definitely in a tricky position, forcing him to and conceding most of the ground here. Smart move, I think, right now, which does seem to be moving, is actually head hard east, secure the terrain here, as crucially, F3rig has done nothing there. He's not there at all. So rather than attack head on with 4-man squads into, like, possibly ensconced so position with mines, possibly even heading eastwards, I think is the much smarter move here by Use-m246. Like to mechanize company up, likely an armored car once he secures the fuel again. Support company up for F3rig. We also got the medics. But yeah, there's definitely a spicy opening here. Definitely something Use-m246 was not ready for. He does still launch an attack, possibly as a diversionary attack here to basically keep F3rig focused around here so he doesn't divert forces towards, obstructing User's move on the eastern fuel point instead, which is definitely tactically, I think, very sound. Meanwhile, F3rig here with a CoH2 battalion command, likely a T7 being rushed up. We got demo charge in the building. A little parting gift from F3rig. A little parting gift. Grenadiers straight into a mine there, half the unit gone. Engineers being suppressed at the M42. Grenadiers with the conscript up here, taking losses again, trying to attack into a conscript with heavy cover. Is pretty tough going there for 4-man Grenadiers. Around the eastern victory point here, grabbing the eastern fuel point, sandbagging in there, very good, but is pushed off the western fuel point there. Armoured car, slowly arriving here for Use-m246 and the German army. CoH2 battalion command almost done for F3rig. Again, likely a T70 here, which will of course force a Pack 40 from Use-m246. In fact, he's going for it already. Probably able to read the current flow here of the battle, realizing he's going to need an anti-tank gun. 2 command points open, so of course he can start calling in heavy mortars and the shock troops. But of course the question is, does F3rig do that? Is of course the big question here. 2-2 ready here, pushing for the sun fuel point. Apparently F3rig has abandoned it to now divert forces towards regaining the eastern fuel point instead. Interesting, interesting. Gonna need something against the conscripts, no molotovs, no additional flamethrowers here. Punishment to catch them there. Armored car spotting the demo charge, ruining it, and thus, making a mess there. F3rig's little surprise for Use-m246. Oh, brilliant. Now they ruined the surprise. Yes, as the Grenadiers can to retreat there. Obviously, being a building versus a flamethrower team is typically the last place you want to be. I mean, typically don't want to be near a flamethrower being used against you at all, but, even less want to be in a building when that's the case. Nothing further happening there in Use-m246's base. Of course, we've got the Pack 40 out there. T7 strikes here for the Red Army, engaging there. Use-m246 armored car through the rear. Grenadiers ground the center. Grenadiers holding against the Engineers conscripts. Light machine guns are being equipped to use as infantry. West side, they're secure. Conscripts straight through the center here for F3rig. Into the Grenadiers here. T7 firing at the armored car. Being bombarded. Grenadiers and Engineers here. Eastern fuel being seized by the Engineers, reclaiming it for the Red Army and the motherland. Pack 40 being hauled forward here to the front line by Use-m246, ready to clash with the Marxist and stop their armoured assault, at least slow down a bit. Mortar here for Use-m246, a Grenadier to provide light artillery support here against F3rig. An excellent addition, of course, it might invite a heavy mortar. Of course, he doesn't know that. That said, though, 2 of F3rig's commanders did feature heavy mortars, so statistically, there's a good chance it's going to be a heavy mortar involved. But even then, that shouldn't deter you from going for mortars against a sword as the Wehrmacht. Just, means gotta keep that in mind when you use your mortar, so you don't get too comfortable with it in one position, because that's going to make for a great heavy mortar target. West side there, T7 roaming about, they're constantly backing up. PMD4 troopers ready to at least meet the infantry. Of course, the T70 will be a bit more of a chance. There you go, Pack 40 armored car going for the T70 light tank here under F3rig's command. No heavy mortars, no shock troopers yet here for F3rig. We'll have to see if he actually goes for that. Again, would be odd if he went for shock motor and then, doesn't use most of the commander. Could be it was a misclick when he actually intended to go for guard motor. Then he's the conscripts here, caught here with the Engineers, and the conscripts field, of course, also at the ready here with this barrage. And we do get the heavy mortar out here with F3rig and the Red Army, which is a fun fact will be adopted by the German army as the Grenadier for 43, as they just straight up copied it. In fact, most of the Axis armies would actually copy the Soviet heavy mortar and use it themselves. So, fun fact there. Use of the barbed wire, further fortifying the front line against any German attacks. Mines here from F3rig, obviously concerned about any blitzkrieg assaults straight down the middle, but also just great for messing up with infantry and other things. So very solid addition, I think, there. Arm car being fixed up, machine gun repositioning a bit, and on top of the mortar, Use-m246 is committing to another heavy machine gun team here. So definitely slowing down a bit here versus F3rig, probably in part due to the nature of the map, where again, there's certainly an emphasis on certain areas being, very easy to bog down with mines and whatnot, so, getting ready for something a little less blitzkriegi tactically makes a lot of sense here from our perspective, of course, and certainly from Use-m246's perspective as well. Got used to the comes there, pushing them back. Yuri there drops dead. Got hit by the T-70 in the armored car, the 222. Pack shoots, misses the T-70 though. Field gun shoots, misses the armored car. It's the day where every anti-tank gun misses, it seems. Back at base for use, not quite enough resources for the tech. Though he is getting close, no commander yet though. Smoke being clawed again around the center. This time I think to properly support the attack here. We got more light machine guns. And at the 10-minute mark here, close to 11, we do get mechanized here with command tanks, 250-1 half-tracks, vehicle critical repair, spotting scopes, and the lighter Feldhaubitze 18 artillery. Gunting multi with the armored car and the MU-42, and of course the Granadenwerfer at the ready as well. In the center though, the assault never quite went through. Again, they do have a German machine now coming up as well here, forming up a more serious wall of lead here against an infantry. Hey, most of the bombarding the MU-42, forcing it back here. And we do get a shock trooper squad out of F3rig. Thumbs up. Bit rare to see those nowadays. By the way, that's definitely going to give F3rig here some slightly more offensive punch against Use-m246 if he can get them into a position, as they do pack a lot of DPS there. So they can quickly, run through infantry and support weapons with a good maneuver. Pioneers are bombarded here. Pack 40 firing their way. Field and force back here due to the Granadenwerfer firing in there as well. Smoke being deployed again here by Use-m246. Fairly consistent use of smoke till he's trying to grab the center though so far. He's never quite followed up on the smoke. It could be it's just mind games, like he keeps smoking, nothing happens. Then at some point, F3rig just gets relaxed around the smoke, and then something happens. I mean, that'd be like a pretty interesting, long con there by Use-m246 if that is what he's thinking there. Meanwhile, we do get tech for him. Good for him, obviously. F3rig is yet to take up himself. Shock troopers creeping up, just in close to the hedges to minimize incoming fire from various sources. Can't push back here by the armored car. These goes for with their PPSH-41 submachine gun, caught though by the MU-42. Rifling against the shock troopers, killing Konstantin, forcing the rest of the squad to retreat there. So of course still caught out in the open, smoke down from F3rig, but sadly for his men, a bit too late to really do the deed. On the west side here, Grenadiers left to hold the point there, though there's the MU-42 nearby. So if they can just beat the Soviet infantry into MU-42 there, that should pretty much sort itself out there for Use-m246. It looks like that's exactly what happens there. Rifle engineers killing Dimitri. Shock troopers are being reinforced and healed. The PPSH-41 submachine, which wheeled actually had a very high rate of fire, and in fact was also popular with the Germans. They captured millions of them. They would not call it the MP717R, but they would also convert a few millions using German ammunition, in which case they call the MP41R. So, little fun fact there about the PPSH-41. Support crop there for Use-m246. Came all to their firing way, flanked with the Grenadiers. West side here we got shock troopers and contact moving there for F3rig. Looks like he's heading up for deep flank here. And that could actually work out there for F3rig and definitely give Use-m246 some problems there. Particularly like seizes the MD-42 away from Use-m246. That obviously means just, machine hand to his opponent, but also crucially nothing to guard the entire left flank, which would be, quite disastrous for Use-m246 as you can't then focus much in the center east. There you go, going for the flank here, rushes in there, use those spots his entire, at least gets the machine into a better position, though he may of course have to retreat entirely. Konski's meanwhile breaking off from the force, leaving just a shock troop to do the work. Armored car rolling in here. Grab that fuel pond there, looking to deny, use his precious fuel once more. No additional support here for the shock troopers though, now the machine's been pushed out. May want to pop a smoke grenade. Grenades routed at least, smoke being poured in the center. And the shock troopers do fall back, but even then, he's clearly managed to unsettle their users' left flank east side though. We got used to the counter-offensive against F3rig, but F3rig is ready with the T-70 to put a stop to that. A mortar raining down death from above. You got the German mortar firing away at the Continent in the centre, doing some damage. Armoured car going for the Continent west, backed up with the M42, but the sandbags keep the Continent safe for now. And then he's going for the mortar here. A lot of action, a lot of back and forth here now. Things are heating up here. So Pommelkorn can soon push for something here. He could go for the command tank. He could go for a Panzer IV. He could also go for the Stug. Also worth noting here, Use is floating a fair bit of manpower. Like, you could consider like a 4th Grenadier Squad or a Panzer Grenadier Squad, but I certainly would recommend pushing up to 4 squads of infantry, personally. We do get the command tank here, the Befehlspanzerkampfwagen 4. T-7 is still out of here, 3 kills, close to F2 there, firing away there, plugging away at Use's beleaguered Grenadiers. Panthers from the T-70 damaging the engine, gaining F2 on the light tank here, west side grabbed by the shock troopers, moving up further west of the Grenadiers, back here reinforcing healing, west side, MD42 seizing the point. Shock troopers with the armoured car. East side here, T-70 being pulled back, Pack 40 there, but the Grenadiers are definitely a bit in danger zone here. The shock troopers could do a lot of damage if Use-m246 is not careful. There you go, Grenadiers round it as the shock troopers go for the kill here, but they're ultimately forced back to the armoured car. Close one though. Command tank done there for Use-m246 and the 7th Panzer Division, also known as the Ghost Division, due to the sheer speed with which it advanced during the fighting in France in 1940, resulting in German high command at times having no clue as to where the division was. T-35 here for F3rig. That's going to be a challenge there for Use-m246 with just a Pack 40 and a command tank to deal with. Not impossible. Oh, we even get vehicle detection. At this rate, he's got to like gun like, you know, have used the entire commander. Which for shock motor is definitely rare, in part because the commander itself is pretty rare in the first place, but we can just go for guard motor. Pack 40 wiped. Now this is where things get really dangerous with Use-m246. I mean, right now, if F3rig was smart, he'd destroy this. And yeah, he's going to do that. At which point, again, it's going to be worth noting here that Use then has no anti-tank guns, for which to stop the T-3045. That's what we call very bad. But no, Use-m246 launches a furious enough counterattack here that F3rig does back off here, not willing to risk it. And we can see that Use is going in hard here, outmaneuvering F3rig, turning into an opportunity to catch him here. Completely off guard, clearing out the field gun instead. We got another Pack 40 in the way there. Command 10 there, helping Grenadiers push forward. They're pushing back the conscripts wall there. But now the T-35 has arrived here. F3rig is ready to unleash an armoured right hook here into the face of Use-m246. And the infantry's already struggling here. The tank is rolling ahead. The armoured car, Pantherfast fire, damaging the engine of the T-35. The armoured car pushed back here, narrowly surviving the encounter here with F3rig's T-35. Second Pack 40 almost done. Pack 40 crew. Grenadiers almost wiped out there. An incredibly close call there for the German army. Centre victory point stands open. T-78 needs to be careful here. Pack shoots, misses. Phew, I mean, that got pretty heated pretty fast there. Was definitely not expecting Use-m246 to counterattack in as hard as he did, and clearly F3rig wasn't either. Pack got the T-78. Great kill here for Use-m246. Removes a significant thorn in his side and finally opens up for some more freedom of movement for his infantry. Meanwhile, we got shock troops and constant movement again here for F3rig here. Big 2 points wise. F3rig's also got a pretty dangerous lead here with Use-m246. And we got delayed heavy mortar bombs here from F3rig. Packs open in the T-35. They're pushing down to a third of its health. Total hit. Clearly didn't get the fully repaired. Gets lucky they dodged most of the other shots. Close call there, I think, for F3rig's T-35. And at this rate, he's not far away from another one either. We'll have to see if he goes for that, though. He goes for Katyusha because typically what most solo players do is going for the first tank. Just go for Katyusha here. So will F3rig do that, or will he go for another T-35? Hey, mortar they could also do with some more bombardments here against Use-m246. Maybe some smoke screens, but we'll see. Does look like F3rig might be scheming here for a T-35 or an H-35, but it's certainly not quite looking like a Katyusha rocket launcher at the moment. Of course, oh, there we go. There's the Katyushas, like, you know, Wouldn't he have gone for Katyusha by now? And there we go. He does go for the Katyusha here. I mean, of course, he's going to have a fair amount of artillery here versus use. But of course, at the same time, this does allow use to bring in more armor to that way threaten F3rig's T-35 on the field. So, certainly some challenges there on both sides here. Ahead on the horizon. MD42, they're gaining medicines 1. F3rig shocks with they're being pushed back. Smoke being deployed here by the heavy mortar. Fairly responsive smoke usage there by F3rig. Thumbs up. Katyusha's almost done. Pushing up the east side again. Could try and push for that fuel point. There we go. Katyusha done. Going to use their basic form healing up. Instant use. Units concentrating out. The heavy mortar still added. Katyusha rocket launch moving forward, reinforcing healing. Counter there, of course, more or less almost all upgrades to 7-man squad size, except for the third one here, which is still in the process of getting that upgrade done. West side here, counter caught with the command tank to the field's Panzerkampfwagen 4. Unloading high explosive shell after high explosive shell into the rears. Back at base here, no sign of anything else further here for Use-m246, guessing 8 pounds 4 here. And there we go, a big blunder there by F3rig, moved the Katyusha too close to the front line. He was too confident here that Fuse would not put it that far ahead with his anti-tank guns, but he did. And that cost F3rig's Katyusha rocket launch without doing anything with them. That is a pretty big kill there for Use-m246. And could definitely allow him to maybe turn the game a bit better around now here versus F3rig. So yeah, keep in mind where you position your rocket artillery. Be careful about assuming too much about your opponent's anti-tank gun positioning. Because a sharp player may in fact just punish you for making too dangerous assumptions. Howitzer now for Use-m246, bringing artillery of his own. Well, additional artillery on top of the mortar, but of course not rocket artillery, instead a howitzer. Things are definitely getting interesting in some other ways here. T-35, they're heading eastwards. Crucially, of course, it means Use is not bringing in more armor either. They could actually go for this 3G now, which honestly I think they're a good choice. Also has some synergies there with the command tank, as it does become harder to kill for any other armor. Which could allow, of course, the Stuke to survive a few more hits, which you know is pretty good. Because it's almost like the T-35, that is less good. So we'll F3rig go for another Katyusha. Will that expense like made him go, yeah, I don't think I need another Katyusha for now. There we go. Target weak point on the T-35 allows the Pack 40 to disengage to get out of there. Command tank could of course fire a smoke shell there. Already managed 10 kills in the short amount of time it's been on the field. Great here for Use-m246. Up to 12 kills. Almost stretching to 1. Their third infantry being mauled. And do get 150 artillery strike here, which of course means F3rig has now gotten a full bingo here on Shock Army. That is definitely rare. Of course, less fortunately for him, the artillery strike ends up doing bugger all, which is just, you know, kind of a waste of resources, but again, he actually used it. If he also grabs the other victory point there, he could actually start things bleeding out, using it fairly aggressively. Double packs to push him at the T-35. F3rig there, flooding resources, manpower, fuel here. Clearly uncertain where to go from now. Probably again with the loss of that Katyusha is stinging a bit there. And nope, ultimately does overcome that aversion. Goes for another Katyusha rocket launch here, but I hope he's going to be just a tad more cautious with it this time around. T-35 being hammered with how to direct hit on the T-35. That's a great shot there for Use-m246. Sandbags taking the next hit here. And of course, also crucially signals to F3rig, you know, he can't just sit around too much either, because otherwise the howitzer may just knock him out. But so far, oh, there we go. 2 kills, heavy damage inflicted on the conscripts, and the survivors there will definitely need some serious assistance. Scrolls also suffering there from the howitzer. Going straight through the centre, despite there being an artillery zone here for the howitzer. That's pretty bold here by F3rig, pretty bold. There you go, looks like the howitzer badge is off. Straight into the Grenadiers here, backed up with the command tank. And we got UC committing to tier 4 now, moving ahead up the tech ladder here. Shock's moving up here, pushing through the chaos, the madness. Smoke being deployed to further mess here with Use-m246 defenses, allowing Ferric to get even closer to take out the mortar with a well-placed grenade here, the RG-42, which was improved to the RDD-33, and there you go, almost got the heavy mortar. Was a 50, I can't remember what the number there, but anyways, shock troops there being caught with the command tank at point blank range is definitely not where you want to be caught here by command tank. Katyusha firing down death from above on to Use's position around the center there. Shock troops pushing through again, the machine close being wiped out here. We got a bunker to cover the western victory point there from Use-m246. Shock troops pushed back, but the damage has been done here. And ultimately, Use-m246 did lose an MG42 entirely. Leaving just one there, but I imagine he may just move it a bit there now. Once the MG42 bunker goes up here for Use-m246. There we go. Sending out the Grenadiers into the immediate field gun firing away. They're mortar firing down some smoke, and there you go. Grenadiers taking losses there. Back here, reinforcing healing. Bit of sneaking up on the right flank here by Use-m246. And we got a Stug 3G here for Use-m246. Thumbs up. The Sturmgeschütz 3 aus 5G. Pioneer, the T-35, that is obviously a very one-sided engagement. Studer's almost done here. Howitzer with 6 kills, Veterans 1 so far. Pretty good stuff there for Use-m246 versus F3rig. But what will F3rig do next? Another field gun maybe? Oh, great hit by the Howitzer in the consequence, causing heavy losses to F3rig. Certainly punishing him for apparently, not quite paying attention to where the Howitzer's firing here. That was a great shot, and in fact the Howitzer's almost 32 already here. Close one there again. Seems like F3rig is really insistent on trying to pretend the howitzer isn't there. Remember, comrades, no true communist will die to 105mm high explosive German shell. Are you high, comrade? Niet. Ship for Grenadiers quickly retreating there in the face of the shock troopers, even the command tank backing up. That doesn't provide them with that much protection. T-5 coming up, we got another Katyusha barrage here being unleashed by F3rig on to Use-m246, and the 7th Panzer this time of the barrage is a complete whiff here, as it about pretty much just hits open and empty ground. But what will F3rig go for next here versus Use-m246? Down to 102 versus 430. Machine gun bunker there preventing the user from grabbing the point, but not from rendering it neutral. 100 points left here for Use-m246. Need something like that soon. We got delayed fuse bombs here on the Info2 team. So far, fortunately for Use-m246, most of the mortar bombs are a bit off the mark there. Field in there pushing back the command tank. Gun is right in the center. Now we got the howitzer firing back here. Oh, direct hit on the field gun. 13 kills. Almost Veteran 2 there on his howitzer. That howitzer is quickly proving to be an amazing investment here for Use-m246, which you rarely get to see like that in a one-on-one match. Stu going for the T-35 there to send from the shell there, punching straight through the armor with ease. Almost got a hit with the Pack-4 support, so it got smoked down, but this T-35 will certainly not rejoin the fight anytime soon here for F3rig. So 13 kills, Veteran 2 there on the light to help it succeed. Shock troops with the counter-support push back the Grenadiers from the eastern victory point here. We got 94 versus 425. The victory point gap between these two players is certainly significant. 94. T-35 the receiving repairs. You can theoretically go for one once it gets the manpower, but the manpower bleeding is at this stage also a challenge for F3rig, and certainly feeding his men to howitzers certainly hasn't, I think, aided in that particular goal of avoiding intense manpower bleeding. As for Use-m246, we'll have to see what he's scheming next. Maybe another Stug, maybe a regular Panzer IV, maybe this T4 now then. It's hard to say there as to what Use-m246 is planning. I mean, he's definitely not quite playing this match according to the average Wehrmacht meta game, so he certainly has, I think, some elements of surprise that could pay out for him there. Katyusha fire there, raining down death from above here in the MG42. Rocket screaming there, murdering German infantry. Mortar team also quick to get out of there. Close call there, close call. And we got another machine gun bunker here for Use-m246. Quite an investment into machine gun bunkers here from this German player. Similarly, very rare to see a bomb one Wehrmacht player, particularly at this level, that is more special this level, trying to build like machine gun bunkers in like any number. But here we are with the Use-m246 building not one, but two. That is fairly unusual. Note the way his position is obviously not expecting him to like take the brunt of an assault, but what they are fairly good, as you can notice, is they're pretty good at dealing with like harassers and raiders, like smaller scale attacks. Machine gun bunker can be a very cost efficient way of putting a stop to that, forcing the opponents like to invest larger amounts of resources to deal with that problem, then basically forcing the opponent into a disproportionate response. We got a T-35 part possibly again for F3rig. He's only got one, maybe he's planning to issue 5, but he's got the resources for pretty much anything. He just needs to, like, you know, press those buttons. Stuttgart and the enemy there in the west with its mighty 7mm cannon. Pioneers advancing the turn to victory point here for the glory of Deutschland. Aim more to then near the ace level. Sending sees there with the Pioneers. We got Veterans 1 there, but no kills. Aim more to fire there. Oh, good kill on the Pack 40, almost right in the crew there entirely. But then, nope, oh, he's so close to the base and particularly in front of him, we can actually enforce from outside of the base there. Grab the center victory point again. We do get F3rig here with the H-5 medium tank destroyer here. Howitzer is on ready to fire again here for the German army and once more give F3rig a significant headache. Only one additional kill since the last batch. That's definitely less of an impressive batch than their fort used, but now he's firing it again here. Where will he be unleashing the might of the German artillery? I don't know. Can't think velocity from the command tank. He's firing straight into the center there. Katyusha 5 responding here to the center positions against Use. And there you go. Mortar crew wiped out by F3rig's Katyusha. There you go. Pack following up. They could take out the Katyusha. But this note again, he's much faster to get them out of there once he sort of senses something. So this H-5 tanks already here for F3rig and the Red Army. Second Guards Mechanized Corps preparing for another Marxist murder push here against Use-m246. Brav connects up against the counter. The shock troops moving in here. Making great use of their training to close the Grenadiers while not exposing themselves too much too easily. That's it. They will need to get a bit closer, I think, here to have effective damage versus the Grenadiers. Got 86 versus 395. H-5 falling back here. F3rig still has a massive victory point lead here with Use. Massive. Use there with a heavy panzer core. Could be a Sturmpanzer. Could be a Panther. I think both are very much within reason, I guess, at this stage. He could also go for a Panzer, but I think with the Howards, I think the Panzer may end up being a bit redundant. May just be a bit redundant. Shock was there, laying down smoke before getting ready to get out of there. There we go, sees the east of X1, no, and there we go, pushing for the smoke, advancing onto Use's position on the other side of smoke. T for the quality of a target weak point, taking intense damage here. Really doing a number here on F3rig's medium tank there, almost picking up, and there we go, does get the T-35 here. Really highlighting the power of well-timed target weak point there, completely blindsiding F3rig and costing his tank. He was not ready to pull smoke. Meanwhile, Stu in the center though is in some deep sauerkraut. He suffers an engine damage. Engine does no machine gun. You see there, F3rig once that Sturmgeschütz kaput. Command him to assist. The H-5 shoots, misses the Stu here. Armored car flying, coming far as well here. But there you go, damage engine. Command tank keeps firing. Could deploy smoke with it here. Using the smoke shield ability, and there you go. One pack crew wiped out for the Katyusha. Pack quickly destroyed out. The other pack that is getting out of there. Constantly forwards. Heavy mortar retreating it. H-5 moving forwards here. Rear armor exploded by the command tank. Definitely a bit of a slow there by Use. Damaged engine on the command tank, but we do get a Panther here for Use-m246 and the German army. 86 for the 365. Constantly pushing forwards here. Spotting head for the H-5 tank destroyer there. Stug on the flank though. Could prove to be a problem depending on the situation. The armored car backing off. Pack 40 there. Further holding back. We got a machine gun bunker there. Barely operable. H-5 moving forwards, and there you go. The command tank for Use-m246 goes busto. As the ammunition is cooked off here by the H-5's tank destroyer shells. Gunneers with the conscripts. East side, the engineers about to get wiped out here. Need to treat them. Would be an absolute waste of manpower there for F3rig to lose them. Panther, though, is right around the corner here for Use-m246 and the German army. Grenadiers being murdering here, the field gun there. We got an 86 with the 354 grabbing the eastern victory point here. That's going back to bleeding out. Use-m246, who has increasingly little room for that. But there you go. Panzerkampfwagen 5 gefechtsbereit here. Panzer. Howitzer ready to fire soon again, but yeah, clearly another whiffed barrel. Actually didn't get a single kill on that one. Panther driving ahead here, then driving back again. In the center, 8 shocks coming in. Then we got 10 kills, smoke grenade being deployed here. Pioneers forced to retreat, and there you go. The victory point bleed is back on Use-m246. Haymore to tank through machine crew here. We got 80 versus 354. Stu going in here. 79. Going in with the Stuke first. Moving in the Panther, then will there be a heat shell here from the Stuke? He's just going in there. He is fearlessly charging at F3rig with the armor first. Infantry's not even there to be seen. That is a incredibly bold move. There you go. Got the H5 tank destroyer. It's going to lose the Stuke, I think. There we go. Stuke kaput, but he definitely completely blindsided F3rig, who was not expecting to dive under with the Panther like he did. Another command tank. But meanwhile, as he's forcing all of the attention into the base, Use-m246 here moves in with the infantry, basically seemingly launching a massive diversionary assault with his armor to allow him to advance in the center there. That's some pretty big brain move. Now he's also using it to spot for the artillery, and that way try and take out the howitzer that way. Good lord. Meanwhile, Katyusha fire here from an angle that you definitely don't see very often here, firing out the center, forcing use off the center. MG42 there should pop incendiary on his round for the increased damage it could really do here. 2 F3rigs in for that set. He's about to get wiped out. So probably should have retreated actually. There you go. Wiped out. Didn't matter. Command tank on the way there. Panther driving away here. Howitzer firing down to the base here, causing consternation, chaos, and confusion. Discombobulation, ladies and gentlemen, inside of F3rig's base. Grenadiers pushed off here. Casualties piling up here. It's a slaughterhouse. An abattoir of the Eastern Front. There you go. Command tank ready to support the troops here. Could deploy smoke. Engineers being ripped apart here. Command tank repairing itself next to F3rig's base. Engineers almost wiped out here. Heavy mortar fire raining down here. Machine gun recruit here by some of Use's bold pioneers. Heavy mortar fire. They're close to murdering them. The Panthers once more on the move. Step on it, Ludwig. We have Marxists to murder. Don't you mean Russians? Well, you know, yeah, I guess we could call them that.
We have an isolated sector.
10 kills, veterans 1 got the center victory point there once, but some of the bleedies down to 58 versus the 354 there. Up F3rig, but F3rig doesn't have any tanks. This Katyusha could go down to a flank here, though seemingly Use is not quite ready for that, but it's also worth noting his house is actually up to ace level, 22 kills. Not that Veteran 3 really does anything on a 1v1 map, like just extends the range. Which, like, you know, like, is like firing further off the map. It makes no difference. Panther taking hit from the field and straight for the frontal armor. Panther's the conscript. MG42 bunker still there, by the way. The other one is also. So, I mean, these machine gun bunkers have kind of been a decent investment here for Use-m246, I guess. At least one of them has. We got 58 versus 354. The fighting continues, but F3rig's tactics are definitely running a bit into a wall here. Like, I think he needs to like switch up his tactics. Like, he's like trying to do something here, and you know, go for some deeper flanking mistakes. Like, just constantly fitting men to the meat grinder. Where Use-m246 is clearly quite ready for that. It's like doing a fairly good job at countering it. And so, you know, F3rig needs to like switch up, but he just seems very reluctant to switch up for whatever reasons. Command tank Panther there firing at the conscript, pushing them back here. We got armored detection again here from F3rig. Armored vehicle detection to be specific, but you know, there's not really much else armored here now, is there? Unless you can decide to run off with one of those shock troopers' bullet body armor. Hey Fritz, I think this has made a great souvenir for the kids back home. Jürgen, if you give your kids that, they'll be crushed beneath it. Austrian flak panzers is an interesting choice at this stage here from Use-m246. I'm guessing that highlights is really focused on just murdering the infantry because he can't go for more command tanks. So obviously he has to go for like an Austrian. That is in choice. We got another H5 here for F3rig. Another medium tank destroyer. Field gun opening up on the Panzer IV command tank. We even got his tracking from it. That's a pretty rarely utilized ability from my experience. Hard to find way in there. 32 kills, by the way. The losses on F3rig are climbing at an incredible pace. He's down to like just 2 squads of infantry, 2 engineers to airball to the field gun, and the Katyusha for now at least. That's it. Most of his stuff is ace level. Armored car, the 17 kills ace level. Then he's been forced back up with the command tank and the Panther and Reserve in there. Go the H5 tank destroyers ready. Got 58. This is 349. And there you go. H5 tank destroyer here is ready. Panther command tank at the ready.
The enemy has taken our supply sector.
He's running forwards. Continues being attacked with the constant engineers. MD42 there's already as well. Howard's almost ready to unleash another load of high explosives there right into the midst of the F3rig's men. Osman on flank here. Could try and dub up behind him. I mean, so far, worth noting, F3rig hasn't minded all here versus Use. So, I mean, a deep flank that could be quite effective. Lens on the flank here, Captain Engineers there. Field gun quickly chops from the gun DSC. Machine gun wiped out there. Howitzer is ready to fire again here. F3rig's men are being brutally cut down to size here by the men of the 7th Panzer Division, 3rd Panzergrenadier Company. Packs firing away there. Will Use launch another assault? Will he try and break F3rig's back here? Well, what's left of his back as opposed to this point, because I think he did launch a back-breaking assault just previously. It's more like, you know, he's just moving in to like finish off the rest of the spine. Like, you know, the doctor's at the hospital bed and he's like, you know, well, there's a bit of recovery time. You can recover your spine, and then he just moves in and just finishes off the job as the doctor just stares in complete, like, you know, disbelief. But there you go. F3rig concedes or pops out here. GG. Game over. A victory for Use-m246. Quite the comeback there. Quite the use of abilities of Bime as well. But also nice use of shock motors to some degree. Though again, I feel like F3rig was ultimately betrayed by his tactical decision to just pour everything down the center, losing out on the side on the flanks, and I think that definitely made it much easier for Use-m246 to deal with them. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this match. I learned something from it. If you did, subscribe, like, share, comment on it, tell a friend, tell a family, but don't tell enemies. This is Imperial Link saying cheers. Thank you for watching. See you tomorrow again for another episode. Bye.